You're watching TelecomTV's exclusive video coverage of the first ever OPNFV summit held in San Francisco. I'm joined now by Wenjing Chu, who is Distinguished Technologist at Dell Research. Wenjing, thanks for talking with us on TelecomTV again.
Happy to be here.
In the context of open solutions for NFV, what is it we mean by open?
Great question. There's a lot of ways you can look at open. And I think you start from the very basics. Telecom industry and a lot of the traditional industry have a special needs, and that in past must be met by specialized hardware and systems. And they are hard to make, and it takes a lot of very dedicated investment to make it happen, and tend to be slow too. So the technology iteration tend to take a longer time. And many of the other industries moved on to what's called cloud computing, and we see a lot of benefit out of that, right? And so I think this is just a catch-up for us in the networking to move that direction too. And so with that perspective, you can see open as in, using open standard equipment that the rest of the industry use. So that gets you into a faster technology curve. Your adoption is much faster, lower cost too. And then you have open software that allow the platform to be open up. So a lot of the different innovators can build systems, solutions. It's, the one word people use will be vendor lock-in, so that way you don't have that. And it also allows a lot more different choices to be available. And then you have open source. We are in OPNFV, and it's an open source project that really, I think it's a recognition that a lot of these components nowadays are from open source communities, and the community will be able to actually push this forward a lot faster than any one individual vendor can do.
Specifically looking at Dell, what's Dell doing? What work is Dell doing to drive forward the development of NFV, and in particular, OpenNFV?
Yes, so Dell as a company, I think, was founded on this concept that we can make technology widely available and a lot cheaper and very reliable, good quality. And I think that's true for IT specifically in all aspects we look for. So this is simply our way of continuing that strategy. We think it's a great opportunity for us to be able to work in that fashion with the telecom industry and on open source, and also in seeing how the benefit of cloud computing can be applied here as well.
Do you think it's possible, looking at the telecoms industry, to have a commercially viable NFV deployment that uses purely open source components?
Yeah. In the early days, there's a lot of doubt, let's put it that way, right? Who will be arguing, say, hey, what about those carrier-grade requirements? Yeah. And I think as you look into it, each one by one, and there's a lot of examples of how people deliver very scalable, real-time solutions built on these open systems nowadays. And so we see videos, we see different kind of voice applications on this, and we're going to see a lot of future applications. I think you really can't be built on the old systems anymore. So it's always in transition period that you will look back, how do I use the new system to support my legacy application? But you also have to look forward. All the new applications are going to need very different systems. And so you combine both. I think there is challenges to overcome naturally. But we summarize it as a way to, how do you get reliability out of less reliable systems? Now we start learning how to do that. I think we'll be able to overcome those challenges as well.
So we've been using the term carrier grade for many, many years,
yeah,
as a level of quality and what this equipment needs to do. So quality-wise, we're the same. So telecoms operators aren't reducing their definition of carrier grade. It's just that we're able to do more and raise the standard.
Right. If this community do our work right, what the consumers will see is actually cheaper, better services with the same quality, even higher quality. So a good example would be voice. As we hearing in our phones, that quality was decided ages ago, before either of us or all of us born, right? And so this gives us the opportunity to have a high definition voice qualities. And you will have video conferencing that allow you to actually interact a lot better, right? So there are definitely the opportunity out there. And as I said again, in transition period, you will have some challenges. But I think the migration is happening, and it's a pretty clear-cut reason that we, as an industry, should move forward to.
So it is a transition period, as you say. We haven't been developing and working on what defines NFV for that long, relatively long. Mm-hmm. How long do you think it's going to be before we see mass market take-up and adoption of NFV and SDN within the telco networks?
We look at the transition, for example, in cloud computing. And this term and concept started about 10 years ago. And now it seems like everybody is, believer now, I think finally, right? So it takes some time, but you can see the trend. It's happening to our customers. It's happening as the consumer, their spending and taste, everything's moving from the usage of legacy services to newer services. And also, all the technology advancements that's going on, as well as investment communities looking into that. So all that is pointing to a very clear trend. I think this will happen very quickly. I think we conservatively can say, hey, we'll be no less than 10 years. But I think in reality, as we all see, this seems to always pick up faster. After all, we already seen successes, and we are simply trying to replicate that success. So I think this will happen faster than that.
So how much can one company contribute to NFV on its own, or do we really require this broad ecosystem of developers and contributors?
Yeah, I think in a lot of the very big systems today requires a lot of expertise from different companies. And open source has been proven really good as a foundation to allow each company to innovate on their core competence. So in general, that's true, but specifically in NFV, we have seen two traditionally separate industries come together. And if you count on software as well, it will be three industries, right? You have really IT, software, and telco. And so we're really blessed with all these talents here in OPNFV and believe in the same thing, building one community. I think that's going to be a great boost for this ecosystem.
Wenjing, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.